What's going on, everybody? It is Triple Crown 24 back on a Sunday night. I'm taking a little break from what has been a crazy shipping marathon. I've had over 100 shipments that I've had to need to get out over the course of this weekend, and I'm about 90% done. I just needed a little break before I tackle the last stretch here, and then any orders that might come in here in the closing moments here on Monday. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time today to talk about a new project that I'm going to be starting and kind of the process that went into deciding how to start this project, and I guess why this time will be different. And I'll explain what I mean by that here in a moment. So let me take you through what's gone into this. My pickups for the Miggy PC have been very slim recently. So here's two, for example. I forgot if I showed these off in the last video or not, but if I did, I apologize. Here is the level 3 rookie from UD Finite 2003, one I've been after for a while, as is this one. The Sapphire Motor City Masters from 16 Sapphire. So it's a combo card there with JD Martinez. I love this card a lot. So I'm very happy to have crossed these two off the list. They've been on the list for quite some time. Along with that, I've got some more cards like this that are coming in. These like 7 to 10, maybe even up to $15 cards. And a lot of my checklist of the stuff I need at this point in time are those types of cards. So it's going to be a lot slower for me picking stuff up. And this has actually been, I'm on track to have my worst month in terms of the number of cards that I am picking up for my collection. Right now, I believe it's at like 18 new cards or 20, or maybe it's like 25 or something now. The lowest I've ever had was 34, and that was in November 2019. So I started keeping track of how many cards I added. I kept like a little log. This idea I got from Nate, Tops 85 401. And the least amount was in November 19, and I started that back in May of 2019. And this month I'm probably on pace for about 40. And it's kind of on the low side for me. That's just kind of how it's going to be going forward. Now, I do have two massive cards that are coming in later this week. One of which is on my goals list. The number one just kind of caught me by surprise, and I cannot wait to tell you the story about it. But until then, I'm gonna have to wait on those. So I really have wanted to pick up some stuff in the interim and kind of fill in those gaps in between the big card mail days. And although I really want to go for more quality in my collection, I do like the possibility of having mail every day and being able to just pick up cheaper cards from my collection when I can. And the Cabrera market prices are starting to go up, so that means I gotta kind of look in different areas for cheaper cards. So we're going through some boxes the other day, and I was actually putting my Cabrera stuff in Z Folio when I stumbled across my Tigers autograph box. So I'm just going to thumb through some of these here. And I was just looking through them, and I was thinking about all the memories with some of these players. I'm like, dang, I remember this guy. Some of these were TTMs. I remember when I got those in, or some of these were gifts from my dad. And I'm just having some nice nostalgia about it. Like Brendan Bosch. I used to love Brendan Bosch back when he was a rookie. And so many of these guys have a story. Some of these were even IP autographs, which is really sweet. Like this one I got from Mike O. I remember that one very well. Just this one was an IP one, Phil Koch, and there's just so many great memories. And a lot of these cards here aren't probably going to move the needle for a lot of you out there. For some of you who are really passionate fans of your team, you might have a little bit more interest in this. And one guy in particular who I know is very fanatical about his team, where I got this idea from, is Dustin and Blake. So Dustin, he is a great member of the community, and we chat every now and then. We don't chat like every day, but we chat fairly often, just about various topics in the hobby. And he's recently been doing some videos, and by recently I mean it's been several months now that he's been doing this, where he's been trying to collect all of the different autographs for players who have played for the Minnesota Twins. Now, he's only doing the Minnesota Twins, not necessarily the Washington Senators, unless that player was still around when the Twins became a thing in 1961. And he has a very awesome video series devoted to it. He's put out 3 so far. I think he plans to put out more here in the future. He's got some just great information in this. it just provided a lot of great baseball knowledge, and I love it. And right now, things for the Tigers, things for Detroit sports in general, there's a lot to be desired. Let's just put it that way. There's not a lot of good things to look forward to. Really, all four of our franchises are in a rebuilding mode of sorts. Some are kind of in denial that they're in rebuilding. Some have fully embraced it. Some are a little closer to the light at the end of the tunnel. But for all the teams this season or the upcoming season, I don't expect any of them to contend for a playoff spot. It's kind of disappointing. So when that happens, I tend to get a little nostalgic, and that's one of the fun things about this kind of down period for the Tigers is collecting Miggy and having all those fond memories of when they were good. But in addition to that, it's also collecting some of the cards that are other players who I remember or other players that I happen to learn about through this process. So that is my very long-winded way of saying that. I'm going to pursue a very similar project to Dustin, and I'm going to be starting to collect all the Tigers autographs that I possibly can. So anyone who has played for Tigers, I would like to get a certified autograph. Now, by certified autograph, it could be something like this, where it's a pack-pulled card, where it's certified by whatever manufacturer made the pack. Or it could be something like this, where it's a TTM IP, private signing that is eventually certified by a PSA, JSA. Whatever route I decide to go down, it will most likely be PSA is what I'm thinking. I think it's the most cost-effective for me, and a lot of the ones that I'm going to be getting slabbed, like this one, for example, aren't necessarily the most expensive autographs. So I just want to have them authenticated for my own collection, but I really don't want to pay a premium to get JSA services. So now, I am no stranger to starting and stopping when it comes to these projects. And I will explain what I mean by that. So I've had many different little collecting niches over the years. And it's been such a wild ride. And I grew up as a kid doing what most of us did as a kid, and we opened up packs of cards. And things were a lot different. You could actually find cards in the retail landscape. A hobby box for $200 was considered a high-end box. Like Triple Threads was a really high-end box at the time at $200 a box. And now $200 a box it's almost like it's a mid-end product. It's mind-boggling to me how the times change. And I know people will be like, "Oh, you're young, you don't know what it's like when it was this price." Yeah, that's true. But even in my lifetime now, it's changed, and especially within the past year and a half or so, it's absolutely bonkers. So, for example, now, by the way, I got this from our boy Ken Kinsley, Beansball Card Blog. Shout out to him. When you see hobby boxes like this and what they go for on the secondary market, it would make me sick to open something like this. And if I didn't hit a big card, like I know how I am. I would be like physically sick to my stomach knowing that I opened up this box and took away all of its value. So it's kind of gotten to the point now where I don't really enjoy opening product anymore, just because my access to it, because my local stores, they're like anywhere else. I'm not finding it, and if I do, well, then something must be wrong, because it shouldn't be there by the time that I'm there, because there are some really dedicated box hawks out here. And they clear out everything. The Bowman Platinum, they take that, they buy out the Topps Update, like the stuff that you guys might still find out there. They don't care. They'll buy it all up. So it's been slim pickings on the wax front, just with how the prices are in the secondary market. Unless it's like something that I just, I get the itch and I really want to go after something, or I think it's something that still is at a price where I can stomach, a dud box, then I'll go for it. But overall, I've kind of moved out of it, and it's been beneficial to me. I will say that for sure. I mean, I've saved so much money that I've been able to put into other things, not even hobby-related things, but just, upgrading various things around the house even by not opening wax. So in a way, it's helped me, but it's definitely taken away a slice of the hobby that I've enjoyed. But when wax prices are what they are, for example, like products like this, I just couldn't justify, opening these products anymore. So I can't really go back to that when I was a kid. The next thing that I started to do was I started to PC the Tigers as a team. So I pull a Tigers card out of a pack. I got super excited for it. So let's just say here I've got this stack of Diamond Anniversary cards, and these are all National League players, so there won't be any Tigers in this stack. But let's just say that this Ryan Braun, Carlos Marmol, this Ryan Braun here was a Tigers card. I'd be really excited about that. And I had a lot of fond memories of pulling out Tigers cards from packs and then getting in the various autographs. Some of these in these stacks right here were ones that I got with my dad or ones that I traded for back when I first started getting involved on the interwebs with cards and everything. So that happened for time, and then when my dad passed, it kind of I don't know, I kind of fell out of it for a little bit. I just kind of maybe explored the wax a little bit more, and I was getting more into the football thing too because the Lions were finally good. I'll use that loosely, good. And I was trying to go after some of their rookies, and man, I got burned so many times. And every once in a while, I would hit a little gem like this. Like this was one of the first group breaks I ever got into. Was this Barry Sanders 5-star autograph, and I hit it. I remember being so excited. But there were a lot of them in between where I had the Lions, and even if I did get whoever I was looking for that year, insert whichever bust you want to put in here. It was just kind of, at the end of the day, I felt like I didn't have anything to show for it in my collection. I wasn't really enjoying it because these guys, they frustrated me because they'd be off the team or they'd underperform, and then I'd have their cards, and it was just a constant reminder about how, the Lions they're frustrating to me. So I didn't want to do that anymore. And I got into various things from there. Like, for example, I did some TTMing, and I got a lot of really great cards. And I don't have a stack to show off right here because I wasn't prepared. Sorry about that. But I got a lot of really cool autographs TTM-wise. But it got to the point where I was really burned out doing it. I was sending to people for the sake of sending to people, and I was really struggling to write letters. I was ashamed of the letters I was writing because I just felt like they were, they didn't have as much effort behind them as I would like to put into something. I'm kind of if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right type of mentality. And I felt embarrassed almost with some of the letters I was writing. So I kind of moved out of that. And at that point in time, I kind of had to sit down and ask myself, what do I really enjoy collecting? And that's how I got into the Miggy Super collecting. And I've been able to get, I got in this card not too long ago, really sweet looking. It's been on my desk ever since. It's got a little bit of, I got to clean off the mag here, but yeah, it's just been a lot of fun. I've been picking up some cards along the way that are just some random things for some random sets that I like. But I always go back to the Cabrera stuff because that's my passion. Well, as it turns out, I would like to actually, look at something else. And I've tried so many different projects. Like, for example, I tried a little gold label master set. Got about 10% of the way, and I had to give up because I was getting outbid on a lot of auctions. I was frustrated, and I didn't have any passion for it. I tried to do the 92 Ultra autograph project, and I was getting autographs of guys that I really knew nothing about, and I didn't want to take the time to do the research about because I didn't really feel like trying to learn more, which was really sad. And I just felt like I wasn't getting out of it what I wanted to for my time. So as the Cabrera stuff has been tough to come by, in a sense, for some of the lower end stuff I normally target, I've had to kind of be resourceful, and I've been watching Dustin's videos, man, and I absolutely love hearing him talk about those Twins autographs. The Twins are a rival team for me, but man, oh man, I could listen to him talk about. I've probably watched all of his. He's done 3 showcases so far. I've watched all 3 of them, probably 3 separate times each. That's no exaggeration or anything. And then I go, like, some of the team collectors here on YouTube, and you guys know who you are, like Bob Lewis with the Pirates. I know Bob does a lot of things out there, but I just love how, he collects the Pirates, and there's so many more I can name as well. I really enjoy, I've been watching some of the TTM videos, and there's some great guys out there. Caleb's Cards is one that comes to mind. He actually hooked me up with some of the autographs that I just showed you there around Christmas time, and he has a fantastic presentation style, in my opinion, and the information he gives on a lot of what he gets back. He doesn't do just baseball. I mean, he does pretty much everything. I love the diversity in his collection, but I really do. I have a bias towards the baseball. So what I decided on, as I mentioned before, is to go after as many different autographs that are certified, or to get them certified, of different Tigers players. And this is the stack that I've acquired so far. I'm still working on them and going through and sorting them out. The problem is that I have like baseballs, I have slabs, I have bats. So it's not like all these autographs are going to be in one place. It kind of bugs my OCD with my collecting ways a little bit to not have, to kind of have it all scattered around. But I guess I kind of just have to get over it, because there's really no way around it at this point. I think I have like 50 guys logged into my little spreadsheet so far, and I've been adding a list of guys who I want to get autographs of eventually. So the goal is to have them in a Tigers uniform on the card. Now, there are going to be some exceptions. For example, I will show you one right here. This is a guy who actually wrote TTM in the 2019 season, a year before he signed with the Tigers. That would be Ivan Nova. He has, I believe, one, possibly two Tigers cards, and given circumstances in the world right now, it's not like it's really easy to go out and ask Ivan Nova for an autograph, much less the chances that someone would pull out one of those Tigers cards to ask for him. Well, it's kind of slim. So I can always ask for I'm not really as much of an 8x10 kind of guy. I don't have a great way to store them, really, and the baseballs are kind of expensive for guys like this. This is supposed to be somewhat of a budget project. There will be some signatures that I will pay up for. I'll talk about those here in a second. But on the ones that are budget, these are autographs that I want to try to get for $10 or less, $5 or less. Possibly ones that I can trade for. I have a lot of autograph cards that are not part of my store inventory that I would definitely love to use as trade bait, or even get back into writing the TTMs. It's not something that I'm adverse to. It's just something that I need to have the right passion to do it, and I think now might be the time. Just to take a little break every now and then, like if I need to step away from listing cards or whatever, just to write them out to some Tigers players. And the best part is, if it's a player who I actually haven't seen play, to go and learn about them. It's part of my team's history, and I'm willing to learn about my team's history. I find some of the little nuances like that Dustin talks about in his videos with some of these guys fascinating. And it just gives me a greater appreciation for my team in general. So what really pushed me over the edge to decide to go after this, and what I think will stick this time with this, is, as you can see, this is not something that started overnight. I've had these Tigers autographs, some of these, for over a decade now. And I think that speaks volume to me, that this is something that I've always kind of fell back on. That these have been gradually collected over the course of, over a decade, like I said. And through all the times that I thinned out the collection, or all the times that I traded something away, gave something away as a gift, these are the ones that kind of stuck around. I've got some here that are in one touches, some that were gifts from fellow YouTubers here. This is something that I've always gone back to, and I've always gone back to collecting the Cabrera cards, and that was one of my reasons that I decided that I was going to start super collecting. So my message, I guess my point of this video, is that if you're having a hard time figuring out what it is that you want to collect, and I apologize, the clock is going to go off here in a minute, of course, at the most serious part of the video. I timed it. So, yeah, that happens. But I really encourage you to just kind of think about, what are your roots collecting? And if you're struggling, or you find yourself that you're bouncing around from idea to idea and nothing's really sticking, it's kind of one of those questions that you have to answer yourself. Now, I've been inspired by YouTubers many, many times over, and sometimes I think someone once said that it's not a good idea to watch YouTube and browse eBay at the same time, because then you're going to want to go look up the cards that maybe someone showed off. I think that is very, very true, because I see stuff all the time that looks really cool. There's the clock. Sorry about that. And you kind of just have to stay grounded and be like, no, that's not my focus. I'm not going after that kind of stuff. I need to just keep doing what I'm doing, appreciate what they have and what it means to them. So that's, I think that's, I've definitely almost fallen into that trap before. But just going back and thinking, what do you really enjoy at the end of the day in the hobby? Like, what are the things that you find the most passion behind? What do you get excited to make a video about? And what is that excitement? Because we can get excited about new projects and stuff, but what kind of excitement lasts? Like, I still get excited when I get Cabrera cards in the mail, and it's something that has never changed. I've never dreaded it. I've never dreaded looking for cards. Even now, in a time where it's been kind of difficult for me to pick stuff up, I've still really enjoyed the hunt, and it's something that I haven't gotten burned out. I've been going pretty heavy at it now for about 2 years. So, and there's a lot of super collectors out there who have been doing it a lot longer than I have, who have some absolutely phenomenal collections. So, this is just kind of one of those things where I sat down and I thought, I love my Tigers. This is a good way to kind of collect some lower end autographs, which I like getting autographs for a cheaper price, and just really I can use it as a learning experience to learn more about my team as well. And I think being able to do it alongside, it's not like I'm directly like building my collection, going card for card with Dustin and Blake and just saying like, oh man, he got a Twins autograph in today, I gotta go buy it. No, it's not like that. It's it feels like I can kind of come along for the journey. And I've talked with a couple of people about this idea, and it kind of almost sparked them to kind of go pursue the same idea. But it's sometimes you have to adapt. And maybe this is going to be something where, again, I pick it up for a little bit of while, and then I drop it for 6 months, and then I come back to it. And hey, there's no rules in the hobby that says you have to stick with something. But if you're looking for something that you want to stick, to kind of be like, this is my thing, this is my niche, this is what I'm going to go after, and narrowing your focus down, I think sometimes you just got to do a little bit of soul searching, and that's what I did regarding this PC, and kind of why I think that this time around this one is going to stick. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. This video went a lot longer than I planned. I think that happens pretty much every time. I'm very long-winded, but that's no surprise to anyone at this point. And I am excited to show off some of this stuff. I plan on doing a presentation style similar to what Dustin does, just because I'm not trying to copy him. It's going to be different. I have an idea of what I want to do in my mind, but I'm presenting it in the way that I've really enjoyed watching it, I guess is the best way to put it. And I'm excited to show that off with you. I'll probably try to put out one of those videos sometime later this week. We'll see. I got to think about the format and if I want to do anything special with it and kind of what it's going to look like. So we'll see. But until next time, I hope everybody's staying safe out there. I hope everybody has a great week coming up here. And I'd be curious to see what have been your experiences kind of starting and stopping projects in the comments down below. I know that I'm not alone, that a lot of us have gone through that before. And I'm kind of curious to see if you're someone who has stuck with something for a long period of time, what made it stick for you, and why do you have that passion, and what do you think fuels that passion? I'm not trying to get into this, deep psychology lesson here and try to dissect the minds of a collector, but I think by asking that question and seeing it, by learning more about what drives other people, it almost helps me identify in myself what drives me and what clicks with me. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. But all right, the actual outro this time. Everybody take care out there, stay safe, and be kind.